What a beautiful morning. Expecting a storm later on today. About 3 o'clock. The wind's going to pick up to about 30k an hour, 35k an hour. So it'll be quite strong. It's the day off today, Sunday. Got that bimini needs to be, the zip needs to be stitched. Where is it? There's a little, won't be this side. There we go. There's a couple of places like that, here and here. So yeah, got to do that. Other than that, it's more of a relaxed day, a bit of editing. I never do enough editing. And I need to make progress with that to try and become monetized. Seems like a big step at the moment, but to say monetized, but definitely with the way I'm working and the way I'm aging, it feels like I'm trying to do too much. I can't keep up. So it's sort of almost imperative that I learn or get to the standard of being monetized. It's like I'm going about it the wrong way. I'm trying to build decks and paint houses, and while I'm doing that, I'm wasting time, almost. But that doesn't put food on the table when you don't do those things, or you know. I think eventually it'll work itself out. I'll be forced to do one or the other. Sink or swim is what they call it.
The canopy needs a repair on the zip due to the dog pressure pushing under there at all the time. I'm just going to run a couple of stitches down it and do whatever else needs doing them. They're getting a bit old, and but I don't have the money to do them, to replace them, and you know they can keep going. So a little bit of maintenance. Doing a really tight zigzag stitch on this, and it seems to be working really well. The devil's trumpet are one of the more interesting invasive weeds of the Gippsland Lakes. All parts of the plant are toxic and have been known, and it's known to delirium seekers. The annual catamaran challenge for the young kids of the barrier landing on the Gippsland Lakes is to jump off the bow, tread water for a bit, and then under the tunnel seems to be the most exciting part of that exercise. Straight under the tunnel and then out the back to the back steps. And we've also got deer in the Gippsland Lakes, that coastal fringe of land between the lakes and the 90-mile beach and then the ocean. It's largely called the bull pool, and there's hog deer on there specifically, and some sambar and fallow deer. They have a balloted hunting season there, and this one try to get across over to Boxers Creek and didn't make it, I'm assuming. It's a hog deer. And in the supremely sheltered Boxers Creek, a big gathering of yachts formed, and some people had remote control sailing boats. Something I haven't seen before. As you can probably gather by now, Boxers Creek is a favoured sheltering place for me. I often stay there for weeks on end while I'm working and so forth and so on. And was due to do some boat maintenance on my outboard motors. So we chose not to take the motor off the tinny and service the outboard while it's on the water, which can be pretty risky, I suppose. You don't want to drop any oil into the water at all, and it means you've got to put a lot of tarps out and that sort of thing to prevent that, and take it real easy. So undoing the outboard oil filter here, just loosening it off, adopting a process where you just go little bit by little bit, tearing pieces of rag off to put underneath the oil filter before you take it off in case anything drips out. You've got to be very meticulous. And by the way, the chest garment I've got on is not a bra, it's actually a GoPro chest mount. I just thought I'd clarify that. Yeah, just a quick review of the instruction manual to see how the oil draining system works. And that's the sump plug there. Undo the sump plug with the tarp in place to prevent any spills from going into the water. Undo that plug, drain the oil, do the plug back up. I just did it up with a ratchet, but I actually torqued it as well to get a bit of an idea what the torque should be for later on. And then it's just get rid of the waste into my 20 litre onboard waste oil drum. Probably should have had a tarp underneath that in case it spilled over the side. You just can't be careful enough, I reckon. With the onboard waste oil drums, and then used a pump to refill the sump with fresh oil to the desired dipstick level. And then the next job was to drain the propeller gearbox oil, removing the filler and drain plugs, and at the same time we also did pull the prop off and greased the prop shaft splines. Just all routine maintenance. This year in the Gippsland Lakes we had swarms of this jellyfish called the jelly blubber. They were everywhere in large numbers, big, small, deformed, whatever, but we had heaps of them. The jelly blubber has a mild sting only. A couple of days off out at the barrier landing with Macca, an old footy mate from
Early Beach
with Sunday Seagulls, but also not too far away in earlier years there, but we didn't really know each other back then.
I saw Yenzi running around on the footy ground. He's a bit older than me, I remember that.
And so introduce yourself, Macca.
Shane McDonald, originally from Toucan in Victoria, now living in Geraldton in WA.
And we just found out that he doesn't need a
fishing license
because he's actually a TO. Let's tell him what TO means.
TO is a traditional owner of the lands of Gippsland, which is Gunai Kunai country, which is about a 300 kilometre radius that runs inland all around the Gippsland Lakes.
So we're right. We can fish here and
We can. We're right to go.
quite legally.
We have permission.
So today we're having, because Macca loves his fishing, we're having black oysters.
Yay! Giddy up.
And we're going to have that with white sauce, pasta, and a bit of salad. And then we're going fishing to see how we go with that, and then maybe prawning tonight. So we're going to be flat out. Too much for a holiday.
Game on.
Anyway, it should be fun.
Awesome.
Yabby threading technique. What about tippet? Tippet with a bit of pelt, with a bit of pippy.
Yeah, definitely. A bit of seafood platter.
What do you reckon, Schnauzer? What should he do? How's he going to catch a fish? Tippet? Tippet? Good. You reckon tippet?
Tippet.
Yeah, but not too much, you reckon? Oh, okay. No, fair enough. Right, we'll take that on board. Going right.
Like that.
Yeah, that's it. I can see that. All those crabs. Yeah, it's not good footage, but it's... Yeah, that's better. Just heaps of them. Just shine right where my torch is, right there. And I can see them. We got Jojo there. We got old Macca up there. And we got, oh, what am I saying? Old Macca. We got prawns there. And we got crabs in there. How good's that? 21, 2, 4, 6, 8. He said 29, 28. Where's the biggest one? That's one. That one there. Ooh, good ones. How many mils? 150?
Good question.
130. Something like that.
A couple of snorkers there.
Beauties.
And if we were stuck out here and we had to live off food and we didn't have any,
We're going to give it a go
I
though.
bet you if we used to put some sauce in there, you know what I find?
Right.
When you don't have anything to go with your food, and then all of a sudden you just look in your cupboard and you go, oh yeah, that's a bit of spice. Chuck that in. There's a bit of this, bit of that.
Yeah.
Big buck.
Big buck. The buck you can tell because of that narrow thing, isn't it? And this one's probably a buck. Maybe they're all bucks because they were migrating or something. They all seem to be bucks. Oh no, that's not. That's a
Jenny.
female. Jenny and a buck. Buck. And more prawns from another session. Up till about March every year, the prawns get bigger and bigger, and it's the time to really take advantage of them. Although you can catch prawns all year round, they're just bigger at this end of the year. Pristine location on the Gippsland Lakes. One side of the block is on the ocean and one side of the block is on the inland Gippsland Lakes. So I pulled up my tinny in number 1. So we'll just go and have a look at the job just to show you can sort of see the type of jobs that I do. But I just put Joey on the lead because she is causing me a bit of grief. She jumped on top of a poodle and does her thing and it horrifies people, so I'm gonna have to just put on the lead all the time. Can't do nothing else. Off we go. The place is a small cottage with a rouleau and minor solar, but it's got solar and an inverter for a TV, wood stove. It's a wood fireplace, stove, and it's got water pressure and all that stuff, water pump, and you could live there. So I cleared this path. This is the house. There was a tree across here that I cleared. Cleared the gutters, all these gutters. The trees used to be a lot closer to the house, and I cleared all them. I've been up there a number of times. And then out the back here is a track that goes to the beach. So I cleared all this track. There's a big clump just here. That's all the debris there. Cleared all this. It was pretty minor this time. It was more just giving it a touch up. The first time I did it was pretty bushy, but this time wasn't too bad. And it goes all the way through the dunes, and she's got a little house up here. But wait for it. The spectacular part is you can hear the rumble of the surf. There's the ocean. Wow. The 90 Mile Beach. Spectacular. A lot of jetties in the Gippsland Lakes, and under this particular jetty and most others, there's some resident quite large bream that are very hard to catch. But in this particular photo, it's interesting because you've got those real little small fish just out of the eggs on top there, the big bream, and then medium-sized fish all in the same picture. So obviously it's not feeding time. Got to get some mussels. Half a dozen each, or 10 each maybe, for me and my dad. So there we go. They're good. I like them. A place that I've done a fair bit of work at. Painted the outside, made that little gazebo up the top. Now I'm making a deck. Hopefully no one fell down here because I thought I locked up. Making this deck here. The building and maintenance is so important for me, keeping the bills paid and the boat afloat. But the movie side of things is more a what if venture. I've always seen it as a way of just keeping a record of what I'm doing, but it takes a lot of time, and I've been a bit slack of late, and I really want to try and get it back up to present day. It's about a year behind, and I want to get it back up to present day. So next episode we're going up to the east coast, and we end up staying in the Clarence River for 3 months. We have a fairly decent job there to do, and it's just good to see a new place with a new lay of the land, with the vegetation and the layout of things, how they do things, and etc and etc. So I'd love you to come along with that in the next episode, and then we should be getting close to being caught up in early 2026. Morning, just up downstream from Grafton. Had a bit of rain last night, as you can see. And the one thing that is different, there's always a lot of fog in the morning coming off the river, a lot of steam and spider webs. Leave me a comment, hit the like button, give me some feedback. But one thing I'll guarantee you, I'll never be artificial. Hope to see you next episode. Full Spinnaker Ahead to your dreams.